back with Shakespeare after a long, long, long time. Is there music? There should be music. Just a little bit, a little smidge. Excellent. Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back with some Shakespeare. Oh, it has been, yeah, it's been since either November or December. So, to anyone who has found me since then, yes, I also do this. Um, and yeah, I'll probably chat about that at the end. And hopefully, some of the things that I have adjusted with the stream will kind of help a little bit with things. And I still have work to do. However, we're just going to get started with. Well, okay, hang on. Now I gotta get. There is here. Ba-dum. Oops. Ba-dum. Ba-dum. Excellent. We are. Honestly, you know what? We should see how close we are to being done. That's 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page. Oh no. Is this a full thing? Oh gosh, I don't know. Yeah, we're pretty close to being done. Um, so we're gonna have to figure out what to do after that. I was looking at my books upon the shelving. I've got Aesop's Fables and Grimm's Fairy Tales, both of which would be interesting and good. If I can figure out a better schedule, though, maybe we'll actually start like a book. But again, we'll get to that at the end. Anyway, we're gonna start. Yes, the Sonnets of Shakespeare. We are on, okay, 50, 85, 88? Question mark? I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, let me know. Otherwise, and I apologize for my rust. Um, like I said, it's been a while, and even when I was doing them consistently, as I was reading them, I would not analyze them properly. So it's gonna be a trip, as usual. So, here we go. Hang on. Oi. Mhm. Oi. All right. And we'll see. So from what I recall, I can't remember specifically. Well, where we were at. It was scorned love, I think. So we'll see if that trend continues. Otherwise, life, love, death, the usual. So here we go. Number 88. When thou shalt be disposed to set me light, and place my merit in the eye of scorn, upon thy side against myself I'll fight, and prove thee virtuous, though thou art forsworn. With mine own weakness being best acquainted, upon thy part I can set down a story, of faults concealed wherein I am attainted, that thou in losing me shalt win much glory, and I by this will be a gainer too, for bending all my loving thoughts on thee, the injuries that to myself I do. Doing thee vantage, double vantage me. Such is my love, to thee I so belong, that for thy right myself will bear all wrong. So overview from what I got, basically, um, I love thee, and in loving thee, um, well, we'll just go line by line. Hang on. When thou shalt be disposed to set me light, and place my merit in the eye of scorn, so basically scorn me, and, well, set me on fire, allegorically, metaphorically. Upon thy side I will fight with you against myself, and prove you virtuous, though thou art forsworn. I should check to make sure I am understanding things properly. Again, it's been a while. Get trusty dusty book out. That's not it. Where is... There. Okay. Hem hem. Nope, not, art forsworn. Have perjured yourself, have betrayed your trust. Though you have betrayed yourself? Ugh, congratulations, you've played yourself. Hang on. Oops. Yes, thank you. Oop. Okay. So basically, though thou art forsworn, I guess I would assume then that thou, well, basically, thou lied. Um, so basically, pledged yourself to me, and or just made promises and such. Um, and then you broke them. But I'm gonna fight for you against myself anyway. Um, and prove that you aren't the villain in this story. With mine own weakness being best acquainted, with upon thy part I can set down a story of faults concealed wherein I am attainted. So I know all of the faults and weaknesses that I have best. And so I can tell you all that and tell you where to dig in deeply and where it's gonna hurt worst. That thou in losing me shalt win much glory. And I think that was, looking back, that was another one where I am unworthy of you and you would be better off without me, basically. And so, yeah, in losing me, you will gain that glory. But I will also gain from this. I bend my loving thoughts on thee, the injuries that to myself I do, doing thee vantage. Okay, so then, yeah, so I bend my thoughts on you, and in fighting by your side, I injure myself, which is good for you, which is also good for me because it's good for you. And that is what my love is. I belong to you. For your right, I will bear all the wrong. Oi. What a way to start it. Yeah, that was that. I remember that being one of the what is it called? Themes, recent themes that, yeah, that kind of one-sided suffering love in a broad sense, in a poetic sense. So yeah, so that's that. Sad and oh, what's the word? Ill-advised. Why aren't you working? Scroll properly. There it is. Okay. So that was 88. Here we go for 89. Oh, I gotta drag it. That's right. 89. Say that thou didst forsake me for some fault, and I will comment upon that offense. Speak of my lameness, and I straight will halt against thy reasons, making no defense. Thou canst not, love, disgrace me half so ill, to set a form upon desired change, as I'll myself disgrace. Knowing thy will, I will acquaintance strangle and look strange. Be absent from thy walks, and in my tongue thy sweet beloved name no more shall dwell, lest I, too much profane, should do it wrong, and haply of our old acquaintance tell. For thee against myself I'll vow debate, for I must ne'er love him whom thou dost hate. Okay, so we're back on that again. Say that thou didst forsake me for some fault. So say that you left me for some wrong that I did, and I will comment upon that offense. Hang on. Say that thou didst forsake me for some fault, and I will comment upon that offense, and I will say something about that. The offense done. Speak of my lameness, and I straight will halt against thy reasons, making no defense. So I'll comment upon it, but I'll make no defense. Okay. Speak of my lameness. So again, unworthy, and I straight will halt against thy reasons, making no defense. Thou canst not, love, disgrace me half so ill. You cannot harm me half so much as to set a form upon desired change, as I'll myself disgrace. To set a form upon desired change. So, oi. Oh, it's been a while. Okay. To set a form upon desired change, as I'll myself disgrace. You cannot hurt me half so much as to set a form. All right, trusty dusty book is coming out. All right. In giving shape to set a form upon desired change, as I'll myself disgrace. We'll come back to that. Hang on. Oh, hang on. I didn't read the whole thing, I guess. In giving shape to the change you desire in our relationship. That I'll mess up. Oh, shoot. Okay. Thou canst not, love, disgrace me half so ill to set upon desired change as I'll myself disgrace. So, potentially, my first thought here now is you cannot, yeah, disgrace me, offend me. It's not quite right, but half so badly to to enumerate, to describe what change you need in our relationship when I'm just going to mess it up anyway? Question mark. So just leave me instead of trying to change me. Knowing what you will, I will acquaintance strangle and look strange. Be absent from thy walks, and in my tongue thy sweet beloved name no more shall dwell. I will be gone from you. I will speak your name no more, lest I am too profane, should do it wrong. And how? Okay. Lest should do it wrong and happily of our old acquaintance tell, and say that at some point we were together, and that would be undesirable for you. For you, against myself, I'll vow debate. I will fight against myself, debate against myself. For I must never love him whom thou dost hate. So I will never acquaint myself with those who you are unfriendly with. I say that it's for saying I'll comment upon that offense. And according to Trusty Dusty Book, like it does, it says, like, to comment upon it. It's like to not write an essay, but expatiate. I always wonder if that's how I'm supposed to say it. I'll write a commentary on it. Speak of my lameness, and I straight will halt. Against thy reasons make no defense. So I will. Whatever in our relationship you find me to be at fault, I will tell about it. I will write about it. I will make that known, question mark, and not defend it. And so you can go ahead and say the things that need to be changed, but I'm going to mess it up anyway. And and knowing what you want, I will acquaint and strangle and look strange. I'm going to mess it up. Oh, hang on. Okay, hang on. There's a little bit more in the bottom here. And then, yeah, I guess there's a little bit of an ish area in here where I'm not, the connection is a little bit not making it for me. But yeah, so I'll be gone from you physically. I'll speak of you no more, because I would disgrace you by making it known that we were once together. And then for thee, against myself I'll vow debate, for I must never love myself. So if you hate me, I must never love myself. I think that's where that ending goes. Gosh, these are oi, these are, what's the word? Dark isn't quite the right word, though. Melancholy. Between dark and melancholy. Well, that was that one. Now we're on 90. XC, cross country. Ha ha ha. All right. Then hate me when thou wilt, if ever, now. Now, while the world is bent my deeds to cross, join with the spite of fortune, make me bow, and do not drop in for an afterloss. Ah, do not, when my heart hath scaped this sorrow, come in the rearward of a conquered woe. Give not a windy night a rainy morrow, to linger out a purposed overthrow. If thou wilt leave me, do not leave me last, when other petty griefs have done their spite. But in the onset come, so shall I taste at first the very worst of fortune's might. And other strains of woe, which now seem woe, compared with loss of thee, will not seem so. All right, so hate me when you will, and if you're going to, just go ahead and do it now. Now, while the world is bent, my deeds to cross. We're gonna look at that one. While the world is bent, my deeds to cross. So when the world seems bent on crossing my deeds or like making my deeds, yeah, determined to thwart whatever I do. There we go. Now while the world is bent to thwart me, join with the spite of fortune. So join with that. So I'm already having a bad time. You might as well join in. Make me bow. The bow in that definition isn't quite the right word. But like bow under the burden of everything. Do not drop in for an afterloss. So kind of like, not don't kick me when I'm down, but don't kick me when I'm already like, not just when I'm down, when I'm out. Don't kick me when I'm out. Kick me when I'm down, not when I'm out. Do not when my heart hath scaped this sorrow, when I've finally gotten through all of the stuff that life is throwing at me. Don't throw that at me too. Just pile it on now. Come, do not when my heart hath escaped the sorrow, come in the rearward of a conquered woe. So after I've gotten over this, after I've conquered that, come in and shove the knife in again. Give not a windy night a rainy morrow. So the night is windy, which isn't nice. But then the rainy tomorrow would be even worse. To linger out a purposed overthrow. So either to linger out being to extend what's already happening. This purposed overthrow. The fortune not smiling upon me. If you're going to leave me, don't leave me last, leave me later, leave me after everything else. When other petty griefs have done their spite, all this other stuff is petty compared to what that would do to me. But in the onset, as they're coming right now, so shall I taste at first the very worst of fortune's might. That way I get over it. Getting the worst out of the way first. And other strains of woe, which now seem woe, only woe, which now seem woe. Okay, and other strains of woe, which now seem woe, compared with loss of thee will not seem so. So, if you're gonna leave me, I have all this stuff going on, just do it now, and then, you know what, everything else is gonna feel kind of okay, because that's the worst part, would be losing you. Oi! In a weird way, it kind of was not positive isn't the right word. Oh no. But it was a little slightly less dark. Trying to see the bright side here. Oh, I see winter over here, fault in youth. Oh gosh. It's all right. Oh yes, okay. That was number 90. We're on 91. Some glory in their birth, some in their skill, some in their wealth, some in their body's force, some in their garments, though newfangled ill, some in their hawks and hounds, some in their horse. And every humour hath its adjunct pleasure, wherein it finds a joy above the rest. But these particulars are not my measure. All these I better in one general, best. Thy love is better than high birth to me, richer than wealth, prouder than garments cost, of more delight than hawks or horses be. and having thee of all men's pride I boast. Wretched in this alone, that thou mayest take all this away, and me most wretched make. We started off strong, and then it went the way that, that way. But that one was a lot more straightforward, which is excellent. Okay, so some people glory in their genes, GENES. Some in their skill, some in their wealth. So these are all the things that other people glory in. Other people put value in their physical fitness, their clothing, though newfangled ill. Though newfangled ill. Some of their garments, though newfangled ill. So is that a crack at fashion? I hope. So like, oh, it's the next new thing, this next newfangled thing, but it's just because it's new doesn't mean it actually gives objective value or has objective value. Let's check Trusty Dusty book. Oi. Force, strength, newfangled, badly styled in the newest fashion. Oh, so not necessarily like the style itself is ill. It is the way that you look at it. Oh, I like that. That's fun. Some in their hawks and hounds, some in their horse. So they're those things that used to be a lot more prominent. The hawks and hounds, and yeah, not. I guess hawks more so than the hounds and horse. Those are still kind of yeah. But look at that alliteration: hawks and hounds and horse. Humor hath, and every humor hath its adjunct pleasure. Every humor, every emotion, every what's the word? Every humor, what's the personality is not every mood hath its pleasure, wherein it finds a joy above the rest. But these particulars are not my measure. I don't measure my joy in these. All these I better in one general best. I have the best in one thing. Thy love is better than high birth to me, richer than wealth, prouder than garments cost, with more delight than hawks or horses be. And having thee, having you, of all men's pride I boast of all men's pride in having you. Wretched in this alone, because I only have this I am wretched, that thou, because you could take it all away, and me most wretched make. So it wasn't too bad, because it wasn't actually, hello, oh no. Help, you saw a naked person and need relaxation. Curious. Do I want to know is the question. Kind of want to, though. Was it like a troll thing? Or was it like... I'm trying to think of anything that would be like... Well, we're reading... Well, okay, depending on the relaxation you want. These are apparently all about... I love thee, but I am unworthy of thee, kind of. And so I am a wretched being and stuff. So, good day, night, yes, hello. We're just. I was trying to wring a story out of Pio, but not sure he's gonna go there. But yeah, so currently we're reading some Shakespeare. And of course it is about love, although it's not exactly pleasant. Oh, good Lord, lovely to nudity. Oh my God. Not always. You can have other types of love. This will only further upset me. But okay. So listen to it just as, don't listen to it for the content. Listen to it for just the sounds. Kind of like when you, a song that you used to like a lot, but then all love is. Are you gonna say it's naked? No, it's not. Doesn't have to be. Nuh-uh. Nope. And I could go really deep into this, and I might just because I am. We have, in this day and age, we have lost that ability for platonic love. Doesn't have to be about that. And to be honest, I would say that love. Oh God, why am I getting on this? Okay, the nakedness is only it's like to the side of. Love is what it is. Uh-huh. And that's just to the side of that. However, we're talking about none of this love has to do with nudity. So, in all all right, I gotta read it now. In all fairness, you do love a nice brown pair of firm, responsive PW F100 engines. Nice, nice. I would say I do too. I don't know what it means, but like, yeah, that's good. Okay. Anyway, hey, we're classy here, kind of, a little bit. So yeah, so that's where. Oh, and I just saw what old December's bareness. No, it's December, so it's not lewd. Anyway, so we will go right back over number 91, which is what we were at, and it was somewhat less uh what's the word? I can't really figure out what word I'm trying to think of. It's like somewhat melancholy. So it's basically talking about some people love does not have to involve the human duplication dance, but what's the point of non-nakedness? Uh uh Acknowledging each other out of the context of such, I would say. There, uh, are you okay? Is it okay? Are things okay? I hope so. So again, like that. Okay, so again, think of this as like hopefully. I mean, my voice isn't that great for it, but the words are beautiful. You're not okay if it's honestly like. I mean, I feel that. I That's the wrong way to put that. I understand that. I understand that. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Just like okay. So think all of this has to do with ruffles and tights and and big dresses where you can't see anything. So that's where this is all from. None of that. Mm-mm. Nope. So that's what it is. That's where we're at. Just think of frills and bad wigs. Perfect. So yeah, so this one, some people glory in all these things, where they come from, what their skill is, wealth, their physical fitness. My only pleasure is that is or yeah, so my only pleasure, and it's better than all of the other ones, is that I have you and I love you, or your love is that you love me. And yet, because I only have that, you could take it away from me at any time and I would be most wretched. So it's not too bad because it hasn't said that it they it's been taken away yet. Want a hug and some allergy medicine? Virtual hug, virtual hug. And here, chicken can get closer. Chicken hug. Chicken hug and allergy medicine that you're gonna have to get yourself. Are we learning the bees and the flowers tonight? Or, well, to be honest, it depends on how it goes. So far, it's just about it. Honestly, like the last few have been, I love you, and you have loved me, but now you might not, and I'm not worthy of you, and sadness. So, we'll see if it gets anywhere else from that. Thank you, that helped quite a bit. Okay, I'm glad. And Chicken is glad too. And if you need another one, I shall put him up there again because I have long arms and he can reach. And he's good with hugs too. So yes, he's happy to help, and I am as well. So yeah, so that was number 91. I'm still getting back into this. I can't remember how this works. So there. So yes. So now we're on number 92. 92. All right. I need a drink. Hey, long arm club. Yes. It's a thing. I do. I got like I got you know how like your arm span is supposed to be like how tall you are? Mine's not. It's longer. And I don't know if it's just like the arms or if it's also like the fingers. But yeah, it's yeah. I'm not gonna say what I just said because it's gonna come out wrong. So yes, long arm club, excellent. All right, your arms are brown and long and very brown. Okay, excellent, nice, nice. Uh, okay, but do thy worst. Way to start it out. But do thy worst to steal thyself away, for term of life thou art assured mine, and life no longer than thy love will stay, for it depends upon that love of thine. Then need I not to fear the worst of wrongs, when in the least of them my life hath end. I see a better state to me belongs than that which on thy humour doth depend. Thou canst not vex me with inconstant mind, since that my life on thy revolt doth lie. Oh, what a happy title do I find, happy to have thy love, happy to die. But what so blessed fair that fears no blot? Thou mayest be false, and yet I know it not. All right. Your arm span is 8 inches longer than you are tall. I feel like mine is not that long, but I will have to check. Great joke opportunities in the above statement not quite capable of making. We'll steer away from that for now. We'll keep it. I mean, we just started, so we'll try to keep it somewhat classy. We'll try to keep it somewhat classy at the moment. So yeah, so do your worst to take yourself away from me. For term of life, thou art assured mine. So for life, you are assuredly mine, and life no longer than thy love will stay. So I will no longer have life, um, if I do not have your love. For it depends upon your love. Then need I not fear the worst of wrongs. I don't need to fear the worst. When in the least of them my life hath end. The least. Hang on. Okay. You got legs longer than 5 minutes of anxiety after finishing. Wait, hang on. Got legs longer than 5 minutes of anxiety after finishing a test too early. Okay. Sorry, fixating on your earlier trauma. I hope. Well, that's the thing is, we got to take your mind off it. We're gonna take your mind off it, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be okay. Um, I feel that. 5 minutes of anxiety after finishing a test too early. Oh my gosh. Uh, so yes, so um, then need I not to fear the worst of wrongs when in the least of them my life hath end. So in the see, that's kind of it almost seems like it's saying that the least of wrongs is you leaving and then my life ends. Or okay, so I need not fear the worst of wrongs beyond that point because that was the first and least and last of them, and my life ended because I lost your love. I see a better state to me belongs than that which on thy humor doth depend, which on your mood doth depend. Um, uh, not I would be better off. Kind of. It's a little strongly put, but I would be better off if my if I didn't depend if my happiness and existence did not depend on your mood. You you can't vex me with inconstant mind, since that my life on thy revolt doth lie. Okay. Oh. Okay. Hmm. I'll come back to this part here. You can't vex me with an inconstant mind, since my life on thy revolt doth lie. So you can't vex me with an inconstant mind, because as soon as you flip, um, I'm done. My life is over. So that flip flopping is not a long term thing. It just ends at that point. Oh, what a happy title do I find! Happy to have thy love, and also happy to die, because I have your love now, and if I lose it, I die anyway, and I don't have to live without it. But what's so blessed fair that fears no blot? But what's so blessed fair that fears no blot? So what is so good that it fears nothing that can taint it? You could be false to me and I would not know it. So uh, this one's like a weird, like semi-positive thing, like attempted positive thing, but yet it's not. It's kind of oh, uh, cringeworthy. Also, isn't quite the right word, but it is. It's basically, I am happy in your love no matter what happens. But as soon as something goes wrong, I don't have your love. I find out you don't love me in finding out that you haven't been true to me. um my life ends and then I'm done, and it doesn't matter because my life is over anyway. So happy. Never could understand anything written by Shakespeare. It so it is, it's just, it's, I don't know, and maybe it's just because I've been like reading it so long that I kind of get it. Some of the stuff, it is uh a tempo thing, a form thing. I don't know what I'm saying. It's been way too long for this. Like I don't have any of my literary analytical brain at the moment. So yeah, it's, I don't know. It's just a different way of formatting formatting the grammar, I guess. I don't know. So I'm doing my best. Sometimes it is weird reading it out loud. I don't necessarily get it quite properly. So whatever I'm saying could also be completely false. So it's, we're just throwing stuff out there and hoping it's good. Never did well with the Jesus speaks type stuff, but do have fun speaking fancy and inopportune moments. Oh yes. So I feel like I sometimes do come off pretentiously because it amuses me. Like the same with that, like speaking fancy and inopportune moments. And just saying weird things. And I don't know. And I think I even do it like in text and stuff. And I think it doesn't, that humor doesn't come out and it just sounds stupid. So yeah, yeah. But yeah, but it is. It's also being able to like read this. It is like the language itself is beautiful. And even there is a little bit of it is a little bit of fun and amusing too, where it can have darker, lewder, whatever uh like content that you don't necessarily get because of that floweriness. 100%. Hello, hello. How is it going? We're reading Shakespeare. It's strange. It's like attempted positivity, but not. It's 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 love. I love you, and I'm not worthy of your love. But I don't know. It's like a weird, almost. Now that I think about it, sort of like puppy. Well, this last one at least was like a weird sort of puppy love where I love you, and as soon as I find out you don't love me, my life ends. But I'm happy anyway because I don't have to live without it. So it's got a little bit weird. Feel that on a very deeply personal level. The speaking properly and being amused, but it doesn't come off properly. Speaking of pretentious art, nice. Sounds like you'll be filming an air show in a couple days, so get a chance to see my camera work. How is that pretentious? That's air show. That's awesome. Awesome. I'm excited. That'll be interesting. I'm excited for it. Okay, so that was that one. And we'll see where this keeps on going. To be honest, I'm actually intrigued. So that was number 92. We're on to 93. So shall I live, supposing thou art true, like a deceived husband. So love's face may still seem love to me, thou altered new. Thy looks with me, thy heart in other place, for there can live no hatred in thine eye. Therefore in that I cannot know thy change. In many's looks the false heart's history is writ, in moods and frowns and wrinkles strange. But heaven in thy creation did decree that in thy face sweet love should ever dwell. Whate'er thy thoughts or thy heart's working be, Thy looks should nothing thence but sweetness tell. How like Eve's apple doth thy beauty grow, if thy sweet virtue answer not thy show. Ooh, okay. Okay, going to be F-35s there, so I'm hyped like a schoolgirl at a crappy emo band's concert. Nice. Need to work fop doodle into a regular conversation? Do it. Absolutely. Oh, that's amazing. There was one over here that was a good one. In hearse. Oh, so good. Basically, to put in a hearse, to put in a coffin. That did my ripe thoughts in my brain in hearse, in tomb. So good. Anyway, sorry. So this one. So shall I live, supposing thou art true, like a deceived husband. So I'm gonna live, supposing you're true to me, like a deceived husband. Pretty straightforward. So love's face may still seem love to me. So your face and face of love seems like love to me, though it's altered new, though it is slightly different. Thy looks with me, thy heart in other place. So your looks look the same to me. Your heart is elsewhere. For there can live no hatred in thine eye. No hatred can show on your face. Therefore, in that I cannot know thy change. So by looking at you, I cannot see that change. In many's looks, the false heart's history is writ. So a lot of people show that falseness of heart on their face, in their moods and frowns and strange wrinkles, like their faces say it. But heaven in thy creation, heaven in creating you, did decree that your face would only show sweet love, ever. Whatever your thoughts or your heart is saying, is doing, your looks should nothing thence but sweetness tell, should not tell of whatever is going on inside. How like Eve's apple doth thy beauty grow, if thy sweet virtue answer not thy show. So there's that little bit of a, what's the word? Metaphor is not quite the right word, but that what's the other one? Simile, and is it just metaphor? It is just metaphor, isn't it? No, that is a simile because it has like. How like Eve's apple doth thy beauty grow. And so it does. It gives that sort of sense of poison, that betrayal, that again, that sweetness, that tainted sweetness. If thy sweet virtue answer not thy show. How like Eve's, hang on. How like Eve's apple doth thy beauty grow, if thy sweet virtue answers not thy show. So, your beauty will grow whether or not, but your beauty will grow as Eve's apple, that tainted sweetness, if your virtue does not answer what your face shows. So your face shows love and trueness and such, but if your virtue does not answer with that, if you do stray from that, it is that tainted sweetness. Question mark? Oh, okay. Sorry. Man's getting played is what I'm gathering. Potentially. It's a potential thing. Analogy is also, yes, a good one. Kind of poetry was the shit during the Elizabethan era. It's called melancholic poetry, essentially over-the-top depressive sentiment. Kind of poetry is very common in English Renaissance lute songs. Has its charm, I think. I do, like... It's interesting because I feel like it's not... And again, I don't know. But I feel like it's not... It doesn't come from... This sounds weird, like from a depressive place, if that makes sense. Like it is just like you can tell, and maybe that's just me, is like I feel like you can tell when like a writer is actually writing something that they're feeling, or if they're just writing something and they're just really that good at writing it, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, I do. I also think I agree with it having its charm. I am... It's interesting. Like the first three that we started reading were not we're kind of the same kind of tone feeling, but then it started to get a little bit interesting. And that's what I've found with these, going through all of them, is that they do really flow. They have like the same, and they just kind of like gently and gradually add new stuff in and just, yeah. And it is. They are. They're good. They're interesting. Again, a little, like you said, depressive and whatever, but it is interesting. Taking it literally is ish. But taking it as that artistic thing, it's good. It's interesting. I think it's all right. Just wish he wasn't so obnoxious in his writing style. Here's the thing. It, this probably wasn't obnoxious though. See, think about how um think about how texting has changed how people communicate. Um so and like for me, I I use full sentences, periods, capitalization in all of my textual communication. So it seems obnoxious, but that's only because that's what we're not used to that anymore. We take the story, let it stand on its own merit. It's all right. But it is that that is the craft of writing, though, is finding those new ways to decorate it. It's okay. This might be a horrible analogy. But you got planes, right? There's always a way to make them better. You got the same basic principles, right? But there's always different ways to do different things with them. So it's just like that. I would say. Consider the language obnoxious because it's old. Right, exactly. In Shakespearean time, it wasn't too archaic or flowery. It is. It was just, that was literally how you spoke. It was clear, it was concise, it was not shorthand, and yeah. Want to write a thing about being read to, cozy literary blanket no matter what the content of the words being read is. Yeah. I like that. Right. And yeah, like before when it was like when you could like a song without knowing the content of the words to the song, and then you realize what the lyrics are to the song, and it's like, oh, that's strange. But it is. It's just kind of, it's the sound, it's the texture of words. So yeah. Although the usage of thou, thee, thine was slightly out of date in many English dialects at the time, but was still hanging on there. Right. Yeah. And and again, it is. It's the way it's put together and crafted. So do not consider it obnoxious because it's old. Consider it obnoxious because he twirls about in whimsical rants to say something that only requires a sentence or two. But then again, very minimalist in your writing. See, I get that. But there is a difference between so that again, there's a difference between having like bells and whistles and stuff, but or having like just like a little bit of paint on it, if that makes sense. So I guess it does. It just depends on, and I would say it's also sorry, I'm going in a lot of different directions. It is a lot more about, I would think that it's a lot more about the imagery than the content itself, because as I've been reading through this, it does say a lot of the same thing. It does have that skeleton of the same, but it dresses it up differently. So it is about that imagery, and it is about being able to, your as a writer, your words are your tools. So it's finding different ways to say the same thing, but like there is something to, like, don't fix what's not broken, but if you always do the same thing, how are you going to know whether or not something could be better? If that makes sense, and I could be just going off on, yeah, things, and yeah, anyway. More of the Japanese influence of saying more with less, often what isn't said being more important than what is. See, but that's the thing too, is I've actually found a lot of time, like I would say I'm minimal. I mean, apart from my babbling, I would say I'm also minimalist. Like, I'm very like get to the point and say just like the important stuff. But I don't know if it's as a writer, but just as I feel like there's a lot to say. A lot. I don't know how to explain it really. But you can't. Yeah, but well, and that's the thing is like this isn't about getting to the point. It is about the feeling. That is what these are. It's sure you can say I love you to your significant other or whatever. Or you can do something like this is just a mode of put, putting that all into cuz emotions in love can be complicated. And so you just kind of get that all out sort of thing, if that makes sense. I don't know. Thou actually survived in Yorkshire and Scotland up until the 20th century. Excellent. I want to say, P.O. No, you can't. I just said I love you, and I'm not naked, and we're gonna get away from that. Alrighty then. But it is. It does. It depends upon what you are, what the intent is, and the intent is not to just get it out there and done. And yeah. So again, I guess I would do not like for planes. Do you like more complicated or less? And like when there is a lot of like complicated stuff, it's necessary, correct? For the most part, like it can be very complicated, but also very necessary. But you could also strip it down and not have that stuff, but it's for a different purpose, if that makes sense. New international law. I say nay. So yeah, so I guess that's what it is for me, and that's um it is like this is like an artistic, it is an artistic form of writing. So like yeah, you can paint like watercolor paint a picture or whatever, or you can also have like a Starry Night and the Mona Lisa. So you know what I mean? There's different levels, and you could just draw a stick figure and that's your person, that's your minimalist person, or you could have the portrait. And it does different things. Yeah, it's it's an autistic thing. I don't know if I'm making sense at all, but yeah, but that's that. I actually write a lot more concisely than I speak. So I apologize. It's like having to press a button to turn on a screen, logging in, navigating to 5 different cub menus to prompt something on another screen to have it ask you if you want to turn on altitude hold. Meanwhile, on my plane, I flip a switch. But again, it depends on what it's for, is the thing. So, like, again, I don't know how rocket ships work, but I feel like they're a lot more complicated than just a plane. So, and I feel like you might be. I would what's the word? Oh, I can't think of what the word, but like I would go contrary to that, where like so think about things in airplanes that are actually complicated necessarily. Um, if that makes sense. So so yeah, so think of the things where you actually have to go in and do complicated sort of things, and it's necessary. That's what this is. So that just think of that comparison. Easier to think in writing, you have time. Right. Yeah. But but then I overthink and then it just all comes out wrong. So yeah, but no, that it is definitely easier. So and that's another art too. There's like people who can speak really well, are very eloquent, and then there's people who can write really well but can't necessarily speak very well. And yeah, so it's a lot of different arts, a lot of different skills. Um, but we can respect them all, hopefully. So there. So that was that one. Um, that was number 93. And we're on to 94. They that have power to hurt and will do none, that do not do the thing they most do show, who, moving others, are themselves as stone, unmoved, cold, and to temptation slow. They rightly do inherit heaven's graces, and husband nature's riches from expense. They are the lords and owners of their faces, others but stewards of their excellence. The summer's flower is to the summer sweet, though to itself it only live and die. But if that flower with base infection meet, the basest weed outbraves his dignity. For sweetest things turn sourest by their deeds. Lilies that fester smell far worse than weeds. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Easier to think in your brain. It's easier to think in your brain, but it's easier to get it out of your brain in writing. So, they that have power to hurt and will do none. Excellent. So, they that have the power to do harm but don't. That do not do the thing they most do show. That don't do what they most show. Okay. Who, moving others, are themselves as stone, unmoved, cold, and to temptation slow. Okay. Who, moving others. So they move others, but are themselves stone, unmoved, cold, and to temptation slow. Okay, so I have a thought of where that's going. They rightly do inherit heaven's graces. Husband nature's riches from expense. Lilies that fester smell far worse than weeds. I like that sentence. Yes, I loved that. I loved that as I was reading it. Gonna make a brain tube to connect brains so we can share thoughts. That's what speaking and writing is for. It's called a mouth. Yeah, I'm actually going to. Oh, if I can remember how. Highlight. Yes. I loved that. Yeah. So, I almost feel like this might be a a a beauty thing, maybe. Kind of. Hang on. Because it is. It's about faith. I see temptation and I see faces. Others but stewards of their excellence. Summer's flower is to the summer sweet. So yeah, so they that have the power to hurt and don't. So they that have the power to hurt but don't. That do not do the thing they most do show. So that would make sense with that line, which I was kind of having an issue with. Like, they may look as if they would be like have that what's the word? Like they would sort of player sort of situation. Looking like a player. To put it in modern terms, kind of. Who they move others but are themselves as stone. So they don't play. They move others, but they don't play. Unmoved, cold, and slow to temptation. They inherit heaven's graces, rightly. And husband nature's riches from expense. I feel like that's similar to that line. Lords and owners of their faces, others are but stewards of their excellence. So they own their faces, their appearance, and others are merely, stewards of their excellence. They have no part. They merely witness it. Summer's flower is to the summer sweet, though to itself it only lives and dies. So the summer's flower, it lives and dies, but to the summer it is sweet. So they that have the power to hurt and will do none are to the summer's flower, and to other people are sweet to the summer, potentially, though they only live and die. But if that flower with base infection meets, that has the power and does do it, the basest weed outbraves his dignity. So those that have that power and use it in that way are worse than the non-flowers, if that makes sense. The lowliest non-flowers. For the sweetest things turn sourest by their deeds. Lilies that fester smell far worse than weeds. If that made sense. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. No brain tube. Okay. That way you don't need to be... No. Theo, mind off of it. You have to take your mind off of it. Tell someone you love them, you just think it. Advocate for See, but that's also like the eyes. You can show people with with your eyes. Advocate for being clothed, thus brain tube is best. Excellent. Okay. Speaking of minimalism in a sonnet, usually the last verse, last two lines, is sort of epigram that tries to express the rest of the poem in a single sentence. Right. Yes. Yeah. I love that. And it really does. So for sweetest things turn sourest by their deeds, lilies that fester smell far worse than weeds. So it is. It's saying that whole thing is people that have the power to do harm by their own what has benefited them by nature, if that makes sense, but don't, are those sweet flowers that live and die. And they bring sweetness to the rest of us. But if they are bestowed with those graces and good things and um, attractive properties and use them for ill, they are the sourest and smell far worse than the weeds, if that makes sense, I think. And I like that. I like this. Honestly, I really like this one. So we're going to go like that. And it really did. It had all of that imagery. And it was, yeah, it had that imagery and it was tight and it was good. I really enjoyed it. It was beautiful. Eye contact is way too scary. You only allow your romantic interest to look into your eyes. Okay, all right. Fun fact: nobody knows your eye color. Okay. Well, but oh, okay, okay, I get it. Oh, gosh darn it! You're supposed to be relaxing. You're supposed to be relaxing. We're relaxing now. Think of summer's flowers. Summer's flowers. It's coming. It's coming. How sweet and lovely. So that was number 94. On to 95. How sweet and lovely dost thou make the shame which, like a canker in the fragrant rose, doth spot the beauty of thy budding name. Oh, in what sweets dost thou oh my gosh, sorry. Oh, in what sweets dost thou thy sins enclose? That tongue that tells the story of thy days, making lascivious comments on thy sport, cannot dispraise but in a kind of praise, naming thy name blesses an ill report. Oh, what a mansion have those vices got, which for their habitation chose out thee, where beauty's veil doth cover every blot, and all things turn to fair that eyes can see. Take heed, dear heart, of this large privilege, the hardest knife, ill used, doth lose his edge. Ooh. Ooh, sorry, that one hit me. Okay. You took some melatonin because your brain doesn't make enough. Okay. All right. If only there was some kind of tube where I could think a request for more melatonin and have it immediately injected. See, but that's getting into sci-fi stuff that you don't want to get into. I've read about it in trust me. You don't want to you don't want to let other people have that control. Okay. So, how sweet and lovely dost thou make the shame which, like a canker in the fragrant rose, doth spot the beauty of thy budding name. Okay. How sweet and lovely do you make the shame which, like a canker in the fragrant rose, doth spot the beauty of thy budding name. So, okay, I'm going to come back to that just because I need a little bit. Oh, in what sweets dost thou? In what sweets dost thou thy sins enclose? Okay, that tongue that tells the story of thy days, making lascivious comments on thy sport, cannot just praise, but in a kind of praise. Okay, so it's got some. So, as a general thing, sort of skeletal overview picture thing. There are shortcomings isn't the right word, but there are things that are offset and or hidden by the more positive aspects of you, oh person this poem is about. So, like a canker in the fragrant rose, so like a mark or whatever in the fragrant rose. There is a mark, but there's also the rose. So, how sweet and lovely you make the shame. So there's shame in you, but you make it sweet and lovely, and that shame spots your beauty of your budding name. Oh, in what sweets dost thou thy sins enclose? So in your positive qualities and aspects, your sins are enclosed. Your negative aspects, the things that you've done. The tongue that tells the story of thy days. So what you tell of yourself, making lascivious comments on thy sport cannot. Oh, hang on. Making lascivious comments on thy sport cannot dispraise, but in a, okay, so someone talking about you and the things that you have done can still not dispraise you because it comes off as a kind of praise. So they're talking crap about you, saying things about your past and what you've done, but kind of comes off good for you. Naming your name, putting your name, as soon as it's your name, it your name blesses that ill report. So because it's you, it makes it better. Oh, what a mansion have those vices got. So the good you, the great you, being a mansion, and your vices living inside, which for their habitation shows out thee. Okay, I love that personification there. So the vices, it's not you, it's those vices that chose to live within you. Where beauty's veil doth cover every blot, and you are beautiful, so it covers everything. All things turn to fair that eyes can see. So everything is fair that you can see. Take heed, dear heart, of this large privilege. The hardest knife ill used doth lose his edge. So yeah, but listen to this and make sure you what's the word? Take heed of this large privilege. So this is a privilege. You can lose it. Make sure you don't abuse it, because the hardest knife, ill used, doth lose his edge. So you might not always have that ability question mark, or that quality. So yeah, so don't overuse it, don't abuse that ability that you have, if that makes sense. So despite all the things that you have done, you being who you are and your beauty, cover all that over. You make everything wrong about yourself better. Kind of, in very, very loose terms. See, this is why we don't use loose terms, because it just doesn't come out right. But, and then, yeah, because hardest knife ill used doth lose his edge. You might not always have that. Oh, interesting. I like it. Okay, sorry. Not worried about robots taking over. Played The Sims before. AI ain't all that smart. Not yet. Not yet. Okay. These ones are fun. I like these ones. Hello. You need more poetry in your life? Good, because here we have it. We are reading through Shakespeare. We just finished number 95, so we're going on to 96. And they were quite melancholy before, and now they're getting, not to say that the other ones weren't interesting, but they are getting interesting. Oh, almost at the end here, going start to end. Yes, yep. We started back in September, I think, and then I took some time off for personal things. I was doing flying, so now we're back. And yes, we're not going all the way to the end. I'm not sure. Might have like around an hour-ish left. It depends. But yeah, so we're just going through. You're still here, by the way. Okay, it was a term for what you're describing. Can't remember it. Save your life. So now you're down the rabbit hole looking for it. Okay, sounds good. When you find it, let me know. Old Will throwing in some spice now. What? Oh, okay, yes. Sorry. Like, I am. I do. I like the melancholy stuff to a point, but it also reminds me of like melodramatic, like I don't know. It's just it's kind of akin to like modern day melodramatic stuff. So it's it's less not interesting to me, but I don't I don't know. I do. I like this stuff where it's a little bit more. I don't know. It has a little bit more of an edge. Are there any fun ones in there? Oh yes. Oh yes. Define fun. Well, yeah, sure. Define fun ones. I think they're great. Only read some of the more famous ones. Sure. There were a couple that I. Oh yeah. Oh shoot. Okay. I had them memorized, and now. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. We've gone through that one, and then um, there was another one, and I can't remember it. I can't remember it. Like when you laugh, it de- it depends on what you find funny, I guess, because it can be, but they're a little more hard hitting at the moment. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Stand up. Oh my gosh, stand up sonnets. That would be amazing. Someone needs to do this. Oh, that would be excellent. Can you imagine? I bet somebody has though. Oh, that'd be excellent. Okay. Melancholy feels like broccoli. It does. It's got that clee at the end. Sounds similar, so it must feel similar. Oh yes, oh yes. Certainly never thought about that. Yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing. Okay, well, we'll read through this and see if there's any amusement in it. I'm not sure. We'll find some. So number 96. Some say thy fault is youth, some wantonness. Some say thy grace is youth and gentle sport. Both grace and faults are loved of more and less. Thou makest faults, graces that to thee resort. As on the finger of a throned queen, the basest base I feel like it's supposed to be basest, but basest jewel will be well esteemed. So are those errors that in thee are seen, to truths translated and for true things deemed. How many lambs might the stern wolf betray, if like a lamb he could his looks translate? How many gazers mightst thou lead away, if thou wouldst use the strength of all thy state, but do not so. I love thee in such sort, as thou being mine, mine is thy good report. All right, so some say thy fault is youth, some wantonness. Some say that what's wrong with you is because you're young and you are flippant and yeah, those things. Some say your grace. What's good about you? What, yeah, is your youth. Is your youth and your playfulness in a way. Both grace and faults are loved of more and less. So both of them are found appealing question mark. Thou makest faults graces that to thee resort. So you make faults into graces that you resort to. Question mark. As on the finger of a throned queen. I do need to check Trusty Dusty book for that. I swear it's got to be basest. We have to turn the page. Come here. Oh no, what was that for? Hang on. I need to see what I was marking here. Oh, that's what I was marking. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. Uh, I was, I was gonna stream on the Ides of March, and I was just gonna read the Julius Caesar, um, Antony's monologue, but I ended up not streaming on that day. So that was that. Anyway, we're on number 96. Basest jewel. It's basest jewel. I was correct. So, as on the finger of a throned queen, the basest jewel will be well esteemed. So, even the worst of jewels will be esteemed upon the finger of a queen because the queen gives that value. Similar to the last sonnet, in your opinion, basically, you're so great, your vices are virtues. Right? Yes, and it is. That's the thing, is it does. I have. I found that it threads through like that. And that's what's been so interesting reading them just all the way through is because you get that thread rather than just having them piecemeal. You know what I mean? So yeah, and oh, I do. I love it because it is. It it gives some form to what the mindset must have been, kind of. So yeah, and I love that. I love that sort of behind the scenes thing. So are those errors that in thee are seen? So what anything that is seen as a fault in you are seen um to truths translated and for true things deemed. Are are so those faults are translated into truths and deemed as truths and or good things. How many lambs might the stern wolf betray if like a lamb he could his looks translate? So how many lambs could the wolf betray if he could look like a lamb? How many gazers, how many of those who look at you might you lead away if you would use the strength of all your state? But don't. I love you in such sort as thou being as you are mine, mine is your good report. So I report of you good. That's what I was going to say. That no. Um so just this last part I'm taking a little bit of issue with. What is the trusty dusty book? It is my gigantic is this big complete works of William Shakespeare. I've got it all. I've had it for a long time. I love it very much. It's beautiful and it's large and it's got so much in it. And it is. It has some of the where it kind of defines things or kind of translates things a little bit or explains things a little bit like a companion reader. No, it's like a full thing. I don't know if I mean maybe you could consider it as such, but no, this is yeah, this was one of my school books. Um but yeah, but now I just use it when I'm doing this and I need just a little bit of a a trigger for something that's not quite working to untangle some knot. Does it contain commentary? It does. Ah. So that's the thing though is I'm a little where that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because I kind of wanted to analyze it on my own just because I have read commentary on classic stuff that this I don't know if this sounds bad or whatever, but that I didn't necessarily agree with. So everybody unless you're absolutely looking at things objectively, you're going to have or especially in writing and in literary stuff, you're going to have biases and you're going to have people who have certain opinions about things that might not necessarily be able to set those aside. So I I kind of shy away from commentary on classics now just because I've had that experience. So I'm just trying to look at it just as what it is, not from yeah, what anybody else says it is. I don't mind getting those like thoughts and ideas, but taking it fully, I don't like to do, if that makes sense. And that probably you probably didn't know what you were getting into by asking that question. But yeah, so it does. It has commentary somewhere in here, but I just avoid it. I try to only look at um to look at it when I'm having trouble kind of translating it or understanding it. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. I have my own thoughts and opinions, but I try to be just as objective as possible in here and just read what it is apparently potentially saying. So yeah, so here how I do. I have like a little bit of an oh, that's what I was hang on. I just wanted to quick look and see where is it? Ah. Boy. we're not gonna go there. Admires, for force of your status, nature, report in such a way. Okay. Gonna have to head off a bit. Okay, keep an eye out for your poetry reading. Sounds good. Thanks for streaming. Awesome stuff. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Um, I yeah, I'm actually just getting back into this, so I'm still working on my schedule. I kind of want to start streaming more often and just probably not as long as I have been. It's been like 3 to 5 hours is how long I've been streaming recently. But I am. I'm doing this. I'm gonna keep doing flying, and I'm gonna start doing other games. I've done Minecraft. I kind of want to do Rocket League, and I have other ones too that I want to do. So these, well, usually I do Tuesdays, and if not, I do Thursdays. Kind of want to start doing Sundays as well as Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'll be around, and yeah, these will be like every other week, or if I start doing a schedule of 3 days a week, they might be every week. So I'll see you at some point. And yeah, after we're done with this, we're gonna figure out something else, like Aesop's Fables, Beresgit. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So after this, it might be Aesop's Fables, Grimm's Fairy Tales. We've done Poe. So yeah, we're just gonna wing it. We're just gonna wing it as we go. So good to have you, and hope to see you again soon. Have a great whatever it's gonna be for you. Thanks for being here. Can't seem to find it. Who would have guessed a philosophy of saying everything by saying nothing would be hard to find on the internet? But okay, there's a difference between saying everything by okay. Right. Okay, sure. But that's the thing is this is literally about writing. So like if you're going to say everything by saying nothing, that's not what the purpose of this is. You're playing with your keyboard. Nice. Sounds good. uh um so so sure, you don't have to, like, you could just take a picture of a beautiful something, right? But you could also paint it. You could it is like okay. There is like there's I don't know if you've ever heard like this in the literary community, I think that it is a well-known sort of thing. One of the strongest, not strongest, I don't know. I'm talking out of things that I can't say because I'm a lady. But 6 words: for sale, baby shoe, for sale, baby shoes, never worn. Boom. It's only 6 words, but that tells a story, and it gives you that emotion, right? So that is part, there is a part of this creative this art that does do the less is more, that minimalism. But then there is also this sort of stuff where it is more about, and it's I would also I don't know if I can say contradict, but potentially contradict um by saying that it's not unnecessary decoration. So like you can have a cupcake, right? And a cupcake is good. But you can also frost the cupcake and put sprinkles on the cupcake and have a cute little like I don't know, picture spray, I don't know, the cupcake. And it does something different. It's so hard to describe in the limited space of a Twitch chat, but Shakespeare makes you feel like you're going down Willy Wonka's horror boat just to describe extremely basic concepts, which, in conjunction with the old and often impromptu language he used, makes it very difficult for me to follow on. Okay, so again, like we said, this. So think. Okay. He's not being pretentious to be pretentious. Is the thing. This is literally how it was. Is the thing. I think that's where we're kind of getting off a little bit too. Like this is just how it was. So it's not him just using this stuff in order to use this stuff. Like, have you ever? Okay, so like, shoot, like I can say like old Anglo-Saxon stuff. Like, so I read recently, not recently. Oh gosh, it was probably like a year ago now. Um, that's not the right word. Shoot, what's the dude with the claw? Beowulf? Beowulf recently, and it is there translation of there is. It's a different dialect. It's a different. It's where English used to be, and it has changed since then. So it is at the time. This is how it was, and they might they might be basic concepts, but everything's okay. Hang on. Okay. I'm trying to. You can unravel anything down. Okay. Sorry. Hang on. Let me try and figure out but there's a something where if you strip away things to their bit, like, okay, so yeah, if you strip away our skin and organs and stuff like that, we're all skeletons. But we need, like, you have those other things for a purpose, if that makes sense. So it's kind of okay, so it's like taking a bunch of simple machines, putting them together and making something bigger and better. That kind of thing, if that makes sense as well. You can strip it down to those simple machines, but then it no longer works as that new machine, if that makes sense. Ancient Greeks had a genre called epigrammata, where you are supposed to say something pithy and concise in a single verse. Epigrammata means inscriptions because these short poems were frequently literally inscribed on stone. Excellent, very cool. Isn't exactly how they would have spoken day to day, but it wasn't archaic language back then. Well, right, right. So it is. It seems like if you start saying that now, like people like it seems pretentious now, but at the time it wasn't something that was pretentious. It wasn't like, okay, I would say like now, okay, don't I would say now, don't look at this in a modern day sense. Look at it back then, because nowadays people trying to do this don't do it right, and they do sound pretentious and it's stupid. Moving on. So think about it back then, back when it was I, so I would go to like movies and stuff. Like nowadays people try to do stuff and it comes off pretentiously, and it comes off like it's just copying what has been done before and not doing it very well. This is what is this is where the copies come from in writing, and it's nowadays it's pretentious, but it's not back then. Feel like you derailed this whole thing? No, no. Like, because it's an interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hello. Did you get my check right done? I did last week. Last week Thursday I did. Um. So yes, I did, and it was awesome. It was excellent. So yeah. So now we're moving on. Moving on to Shakespeare and everything. I'm a private pilot. It's excellent. I'm so happy. Sorry for subject change. No, you're absolutely fine. Just have been busy and have not caught your stream in a bit. No, it's good. And I did. I absolutely. I was in Charlie's chat for your thing because I'm his mod, um, and for the Vietnam Memorial, and it was great. It was wonderful. It was moving, and it was wonderful. I just want to let you know that. Woohoo, congrats, thanks. Okay, you'll be quiet now. You don't have to, it's fine. Anyway, awesome. Thanks for hanging out. It was very good. It was very fun. I was excited to be there, and I was happy to be there. It was lovely. It was beautiful. Yeah. So, um, so yeah, and Sogan, no, I do. I like analyze. I This is the stuff that's fun for me. I like analyzing. I like analyzing texts and stuff, and this is the sort of stuff I like analyzing because, like I've said, today's stuff is just not. Because, like you said, it does explain. It's to describe extremely basic concepts, but it's it's a decorated truth, basically, if that makes sense. Um, so whereas like nowadays stuff is, and I don't want to get too far into things, but like these are I would say general truths, whereas nowadays it's more personal truths, if that makes sense. And I'll probably leave it there just so it doesn't go anywhere strange. So, we did 80, 96, and now we're on to 97. Where did I put that? Okay. Ugh. So, 97. How like a winter hath my absence been from thee, the pleasure of the fleeting year. What freezings have I felt, what dark days seen, what old December's bareness everywhere, and yet this time removed was summer's time, the teeming autumn big with rich increase, bearing the wanton burthen of the prime, like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. Yet this abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans and unfathered trust? Fruit, sorry, but hope of orphans and unfathered fruit. For summer and his pleasures wait on thee, and thou away, the very birds are mute. Or if they sing, 'tis with so dull a cheer that leaves look pale, dreading the winter's near. Okay. So, and I would also say too that something that I found, I was just thinking about this, something that I found with writing, like trying to figure out my own writing, is I was actually having issues with writing by just describing things as they were. In order to write properly, it is a you have to it's going to sound weird, appeal to the emotion, appeal to the imagery, appeal to the feeling. Not not like not like melodramatic feeling, but it can be subtle. And that's the thing, is the best of it is subtlety. It doesn't have to be short, but it can be subtle, if that makes sense. So, and I don't know if this is coming out. So, the way, and maybe it's just something that, again, as a reader, as a writer, like I feel it and stuff. I'm a big word person. Like I feel words, I taste words. It's a thing. So how all of this is put together, it's stitched together into a painting, into a portrait, and it's just correct, if that makes sense. So I don't know how else to explain it. So like, okay, so we'll go with photography. Sorry, at this point I'm just trying to convince you, but like if you're not going to be convinced, that should be fine. However, so like photography, right? You have to get the right angle, you have to get the right settings on the camera and everything in order to get the right picture. You could just snap a picture with a camera phone and you have the picture, but it doesn't do it justice, right? So I guess that's another way that I would try to explain this. Anyway, I'll move on from that. I'm sorry. So again, how like a winter hath my absence been from thee. So I am away from thee, and so it has felt like winter, the pleasure of the fleeting year. Wait, how like a winter hath my absence been from thee, the pleasure of the fleeting year. So you are the pleasure of the fleeting year. You are my summer, and without you, it is the winter. What freezings have I felt? What dark days have I seen? I've been cold, and it has been dark. What old December's bareness everywhere. So there's no leaves on the trees. Everything's dead. The teeming autumn, big with rich increase, bearing the wanton burden of the prime. So the teeming autumn is full of all of the colors, the fruit of the harvest. It's the wanton burden of the prime. So that again, the harvest, prime. like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. Widowed wombs after their lord's decease. Interesting. Yet this abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans and unfathered fruit. We're going to go back over that. Wanton burden of the prime, like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. So yeah, the queen or lady who can no longer bear children because of the decease, the death of the lord. Yet this abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans and unfathered fruit. Abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans. For summer and his pleasures wait on thee, and thou away the very birds are mute. So, okay, so bearing the wanton like okay, so the teeming. Okay, sorry. Of the prime. So the abundant issue being like the teeming autumn and rich increase, the fruit of the harvest, was but the hope of orphans who hope for parents. Question mark. Abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans and unfathered fruit. That one's a little weird. I'm going to keep going. For summer and his pleasures wait on thee, and thou away the very birds are mute. So summer and everything good about it is with thee, and without you, the birds don't even sing, so no pleasure even there. Or if they do sing, it's with so dull a cheer that leaves look pale, dreading the winter's near. So even if the birds are singing, it's dull, and the color of the leaves are not there, and they dread the winter being near. So this is a weird unfathered fruit, perhaps the hope of a woman who cannot have children. Right. I'm just having a hard time putting this bit together. So okay. Now that you say that, hang on. Autumn, big with rich increase, bearing the wanton burden of the prime, like widowed wombs after the lord's decease. If this abundant issue. Sure. Okay. That actually makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, thank you. So, like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. So yeah, so the wife, after losing her husband, no longer being able to bear children, and the abundant issue, the fruit of the harvest, being like hoping for orphans and unfathered fruit, because you cannot have them, cannot hope for the children, or again, fruit of the harvest, without the father. So yes, that makes sense. Excellent. And then that summer, his pleasures wait on thee, thou away. Yeah, birds mute. So without you, my life is winter, and everything is dull. See, it doesn't have that beauty to it if you just put it succinctly like that. So yeah. So that was number 97. I hope that was all good. Hope it was all right. Number 98. Oh, and now we're into seasony things. Excellent. From you have I been absent in the spring, when proud-pied April, dressed in all his trim, hath put a spirit of youth in everything. That heavy Saturn laughed and leaped with him. Yet nor the lays of birds, nor the sweet smell of different flowers in odor and in hue, could make me any summer's story tell, or from their proud lap pluck them where they grew. Nor did I wonder at the lily's white, nor praise the deep vermilion in the rose. They were but sweet, but figures of delight, drawn after you, you pattern of all those. Yet seemed it winter still, and you away, as with your shadow I with these did play. I'm pretty sure that's the end of that one. Just gonna check. Yep, we're good. Okay. So, okay, from you I have been absent in the spring, when proud-pied April dressed in all his trim. I like that. Proud-pied April. Boom. Okay, come back. From you have I been absent in the spring, when proud-eyed April, dressed in all his trim, hath put a spirit of youth in everything. That heavy Saturn laughed and leaped with him. Okay, I'm just gonna read it over quick. I'm gonna quickly read it over quickly. North lays of birds with a sweet smell of different. So in the spring, I do believe it is like literally in the spring, I was absent from you. When proud pied April dressed in all his trim, April, it was beautiful. Everything was starting to be green again. We were starting to get blossoms. Everything like life was coming back, dressed in all his trim. Put a spirit of youth in everything. Uh, yes, new life is springing into the world during the spring. That heavy, that heavy Saturn laughed and leaped with him. I'll have to come back to this. Yet nor I have two different things that I'm thinking it might be, but we'll come back to it. Yet nor the lays of birds, nor the sweet smell of different flowers in odor and in hue. So the songs of birds and the sweet smell of flowers, either their smell or that's sort of a synesthetic thing. The sweet smell of flowers in color, the smell of the color of flowers, could make me any summer story tell. Could tell me a story of summer. Could tell me that summer's on its way and bring me that pleasure. Or from their proud lap pluck them where they grew, or pluck them from the ground. Um, Nor did I wonder at the lilies white, so how beautiful the lilies were, how white they were. I it didn't it didn't move me, nor praise the deep vermilion in the rose. I found no delight in that. They were but sweet, but oh, sorry, okay, yeah. They were but sweet, but figures of delight drawn. Okay, they were but sweet, but figures of delight drawn after you, you pattern of all those. So seeing these things, anything sweet or delightful about them, it's drawn after you. It's patterned after you. You are that figure that is most sweet and delightful. And so just having those, it's not the same as having the original thing. Yet seemed it winter still, even in the spring, and you away, with you gone, as with your shadow I with these did play. So yeah, so at oh, I love how that. Okay, oh, okay. So, so having springtime without you is like everything delightful about spring is merely a shadow of the delight that I get with you. So yeah, so playing in spring is yeah, it's just it that was so good. Yet seemed it winter still and you away as with your shadow I with these did play. Because and again, like it's bring it does. It starts out with all of this. Everything so yeah, so you're gone. I'm going to describe how beautiful everything is in spring. Everything's green. Everything is smells sweet. The flowers, summer, uh, the white of the lilies, the deep vermilion of the rose. It gives you that imagery. It evokes those feelings. And so then after all of that is but a shadow to you. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it does. It just hits. It just hits. Um, So I don't. I'm gonna check Trusty Dusty book about the whole Saturn thing, just because I don't want to say anything wrong. Saturn, the most distant and therefore the slowest and coldest planet, astrologically controlling the melancholic humor. Okay. So if if we're gonna take it as that, so hath put the spirit of youth in everything. So that spirit of youth being bubbly and ready to go and to have a good time and yeah, that even the slowest and heaviest and coldest planet, it it even it even makes that laugh and leap. It infects in a good way that. But without you, even being without you is worse than being cold, distant, heavy Saturn. If that makes sense. So that was 98. Oops. I like that one. That was beautiful. Um, we might do the next two and on a nice even 100. I hope it yeah. I hope it's a good one to end on. But we'll see. So we'll do two more, and then I'll probably call it. So number 99. Just going to make sure I'm... Okay. The forward violet thus did I chide. Sweet thief, whence didst thou steal thy sweet that smells, if not from my love's breath? The purple pride which on thy soft cheek for complexion dwells, in my love's veins thou hast too grossly dyed. The lily I condemned for thy hand, and buds of marjoram had stolen thy hair. The roses fearfully on thorns did stand, one blushing shame, another white despair. A third, not red nor white, had stolen of both, and to his robbery had annexed thy breath. But for his theft, in pride of all his growth, a vengeful canker eat him up to death. More flowers I noted, yet I none could see, but sweet or color it had stolen from thee. So again, another one, comparing to flowers, and everything beautiful about flowers is less than you are, and it has stolen everything beautiful from you. So the forward violet, thus did I chide. So I'm chiding that violet, that forward violet, sweet thief, where, or whence? Whence is from where? From where did you steal your sweet smells, if not from the breath of my love? The purple pride, which on thy soft cheek, so your beautiful purple color, which on thy soft cheek, personification, for complexion dwells, in my love's veins thou hast too grossly dyed. Ooh, that's interesting. So comparing the shade of the violet to be too gross a purple, then the veins of my beloved. So it's that lifeblood sort of thing. So it's connecting that the life of my love in an imagerial way. That's a word now. So yeah, so the purple pride, and yeah, so okay, and another thing. So here, from their proud lap pluck them where they grew. So it seemed there that it was a more positive connotation of pride and proud, but maybe it's not, or it could be. So purple pride, so the violet being prideful of its complexion, its purple complexion, but compared to the hue of the veins of my beloved, it's too much. Your color is too much. You might be proud of it, but it's too much. The lily I condemned for thy hand, so the whiteness of my lady's hand, and buds of marjoram had stolen thy hair. Ugh, hair. Roses fearfully on thorns did stand. Ooh, I like that. One blushing shame, another white despair. Oh, I like that. One blushing shame, another white despair. Okay. A third. Hang on. I like these. These are beautiful. The imagery. The lily I condemned for thy hand, and buds of marjoram had stolen thy hair. The roses fearfully on thorns did stand. One, again, personification. One blushing shame, another white despair. A third, not red nor white, had stolen of both, pink rose, and to his robbery had annexed thy breath, and to that thievery from you had stolen thy sweet breath, so the scent. But for his theft, in pride of all his growth, a vengeful canker eat him up to death. So because this rose stole beauty from you, in that pride of all the growth, in pride of the growth, it's getting what's coming to it. More flowers I noted, yet I none could see, but sweet or color it had stolen from thee. So I saw these other flowers, but I couldn't see any of them. So all I saw in seeing them was the sweetness and color it had stolen, and beauty that it had stolen from my love. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I almost kind of want to end there because it looks like this one might be starting something new. Oh, I don't know. Do we want to read one more? Kind of want to end it there since it's so nice, since it's so lovely. I think we may. I think we'll end on that one just because it was beautiful and it was lovely and yeah, I think it is kind of starting a new theme. So we'll end there with comparing love and beauty to flowers, which is nice. It's a nice place to end on. So we will end there. Boop, doop. So that was the Sonnets of Shakespeare through 99. Next time we'll start with number 100. That'll be a hopefully easy one to remember. I had to actually go back through my old videos to find which one that I ended on because I did not remember. So yes, I'm so happy to be back with this. So yeah, so plan. Um, I'm kind of I kind of want to start streaming more days. Um, and just yeah, less time. So yes, this is only gonna be like about this was only about 2 hours, which is good, which is nice. And then so like on Sunday, I kind of want to try some Rocket League so that I can be a good auntie and learn Rocket League and crush the small children with my skills. I promise I'm a good auntie. But yeah, so hopefully practicing that and practicing not saying things I can't say in front of small children because yeah, I tried and it was a trip. So potentially, hopefully Sunday we'll play some Rocket League. I might start flying again then on Tuesday and then maybe reading on Thursdays and then Sundays will kind of just be kind of winging it because I have games that I want to do. I kind of really want to start I want to do some more Buster Keaton silent films. That was a lot of fun. Um Going over that. It's a fun game, easy to pick up, high skill ceiling. Okay, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. It was fun, but I found myself saying things I can't say in front of small children. So I'm pretty good at keeping those things off of here, so that'll give me give me some practice with that. so so yeah, so Sunday potentially, and then Tuesday we'll be flying because even if I do, just I'm still in the process of figuring things out. So even if I do like every other week, I just did reading, so we'll do flying next. So Tuesday we'll be flying, um, and we'll kind of wing it after that. So and I'm trying to get things arranged here so that it's proper and good. So yeah, and I hope it's working. So yeah, so that was the Sonnets of Shakespeare. Thanks for being here. It was a lot of fun. It went ways that I was not expecting it to go, but it was good. It was fun. And yeah, have a great whatever it's gonna be for you. If you ever got lost and found their way here or found their way back, it's been fun. Thanks. Hope to see you again soon. If I've forgotten anything, I will just still continue to blame it on my brain being mush by the end of these things. So, yes, mush brain. I apologize. Yeah. I think that's it. So, again, thank you for being here. It's been fun. Hope to see you again soon, next time. And yeah, so thank you and bye.